Yo, what's up, guys? It's the Insane Game Freak here. Like my new shirt, that's Luffy, Monkey D. Luffy. He's gonna be king of the pirates. Anyways, Bayonetta 2 demo first impressions. Let's go. So, for those who don't know, Bayonetta 2 has a demo released on the Wii U. That I think happened last week. And so I'm here to talk about it to give my first impressions. Now, if we're going off of the base gameplay, I have played the original Bayonetta, even though I own it for the PS3, which is considered to be the shittiest version. Although I think the game's quality still shine enough through that port to where I still wanted to play the sequel, so that's just, I guess that goes to the credit of Bayonetta and Platinum Games, hashtag Operation Platinum. Anyways, so as far as the game is concerned, it pretty much seems like it plays like the original Bayonetta, with a few differences, particularly just getting used to a different button layout because, with Wii U gamepad versus, a PS3 or an Xbox 360 controller, and the fact that they introduced something called the Umbrian Climax, which is pretty much just a power-up mode. It's like it's like you had your torture attacks, which were exclusive for killing one enemy off the bat, and then you have your Umbrian Climax, which is obviously meant to take out large groups of enemies. And why do I say that? Because your fucking arms, your weave arms go across the fucking it goes across the damn screen. So it's obviously a crowd clear versus torture attacks, which are focused on one enemy. Granted, people love the torture attacks because they're torture attacks, and we're hoping we can get another Joy situation if anyone remembers that from the first game. Yeah, yeah. Uh... Only hardcore Bayonetta fans who even know the names of the enemies are gonna really know that reference, but Anyways, the game is super tight. The game looks good. I'm not gonna say it's not the best looking Wii U game. Not in my opinion. Like, you can still see jagged edges and it's still pixelated in some parts. And granted, I'm not a graphics whore. I'm just pointing this out so people don't start running around saying this is the best looking game on the Wii U. It's not. It's fucking not. I would argue Pikmin 3 still looks better than this. And that's nothing against Bayonetta, because Bayonetta is going for more of a real, well, I guess as realistic as you can get for something like this. But hell, at least it's more realistic human character models, and that's the point. They do still have some things I have gripes with, like for example the fucking quick time events where if you don't hit the thing you die. And it seems like they're just as dickish as they were in the first game. Granted, I'm a little bit more used to them, but I feel like it's like if you're used to playing Platinum games, you're used to that kind of mindset anyways, but it's still somewhat annoying for new players, and I can see a lot of new people getting pissed the fuck off, because it killed me all the time. Like even in the demo, when the dude throws this giant saw at you, you had to hit X, you had to at least hit X a few times, even if you don't get the max combo, or else you're gonna die in that section. See, that's the type of quick time events I don't mind as much, but I hope we don't have to deal with what we had to deal with in the first game, which was, if anyone remembers, there was a specific section in the first game, I think is when you first met the little girl in the little church, and the boss fight that happened right after that. There was a quick time event that if you didn't hit, I think it was like down and square. I don't know what the button layout is for the Xbox 360, but if you didn't hit down and the button quick enough, you would die. Like, you would die and you had to restart that section. So your entire, even if you played well that entire fucking chapter, that quick time event will fuck you up because it would cause a death. That's what I don't like. And Bayonetta 2 seems to have somewhat similar moments to that. Granted, their moments at least are, just tap a button like 6 times and you get through it. Versus, what happened in the other game where you had to hit down on a button. If you messed it up, you died. Because it's something you wouldn't know in the first run through. So I can see a lot of new players get fucked over by this. Granted, I'm going to talk about the touch controls because I tried both. I tried the button layout and the touch controls. The button layout plays exactly like a Bayonetta game, like the first Bayonetta played. So there's nothing really different except that you have Umbrian Climax, which is a crowd clear move, which is fucking awesome. A lot of people did bring up the fact that it seems like because you can use Umbrian Climax whenever you want, whereas you have to use torture attacks close up to an enemy, you run into the situation where sometimes you can't get the prompt for torture attacks to come up, and but you'll consistently get the prompt for Umbrian Climax. I didn't personally have this problem, but I did notice that you'll see Umbrian Climax on your screen more than you'll see Torture Attack, which is kind of lame, especially if you only have one enemy left and you want to just kill it. And you run up to him, and all you see is Umbrian Climax, and you know it's a quick, fast-paced button masher, so you're gonna be more inclined to hit the shit right off the bat instead of trying to wait a few seconds. Because also, you know, you're graded on each mini section of enemies you fight, whether there's a mini boss or just a group of enemies. So it's like you're trying to be quick, and the quickest thing you're gonna hit is you're just gonna tap hell off the bat. Even though torture attacks I think are worth more. I don't remember specifically, so correct me if I'm wrong. But getting into the touch controls, that's the easy mode of the game. That's the easy mode, like dead ass. If you were new to Bayonetta and you think the combo system is a little bit too complicated or technical for you, and you feel like it's a little too hard, play the touchscreen controls. The touchscreen controls are literally the easy mode. Why? Because it kind of auto does combos for you. If you want to do punches and kicks, punches you just keep tapping the enemy repeated times to do the punches, and to do the kicks you just tap the enemy once. And then obviously if you want to hold down and shoot the gun, you tap it once and you hold it down. But the point is, the touchscreen to me is easy as fuck. The only hard thing about the touchscreen mode is dodging. And considering you're doing consistent combos without any fucking breaks, you aren't going to need to dodge too much, but at the same time, I think that's the hardest thing about it. I'm actually surprised it works as well as it does. It works really well, I'm surprised. I didn't have any problems controlling Bayonetta or even doing what I wanted her to do. The only thing I said I struggled with was the dodging, and that wasn't too bad because even when I was dodging poorly using the touchscreen controls, and I still fucking came out of that bitch with a gold, even though it took me my second try using the normal controls to get gold. So touchscreen controls, easy mode. So for those who are new to Bayonetta and aren't used to playing with, you know, a normal, aren't used to the button masher genre, which you really wouldn't be. There aren't that many button mashers on Nintendo platforms, period. I mean, the only other thing you have on the Wii U currently would be either Wonderful 101, which most of you don't own. And God, that game needs to sell more. I really like that game. I'm so sad about that. Or Hyrule Warriors, which is relatively recent, so not everybody would own right now anyways. But that's the way I view it, is that, you know, the touchscreen is the easy mode. So if you're not used to Bayonetta shit, easy mode, touchscreen controls. If you're a veteran, you can literally go into the, you know, the normal button layout, whether it's the Pro Controller or the gamepad, and go to fucking town. So, but the game looks great. I still think it looks great. I still, if people are saying it's the best looking Wii U game, they're out of their fucking mind. It looks great. It looks great, but it's not the best looking Wii U game. I still think Pikmin 3 looks better than that. Hell, I would, shit, have you seen some of the trailers for Captain Toad? Captain Toad looks better than that. And that's nothing against Bayonetta. I'm just saying it. Now, I would argue Bayonetta is probably the best looking, realistic looking game on the Wii U compared to like Hyrule Warriors, which is somewhat realistic, and some of the third-party ports. Like, it's probably the best looking realistic game, but not like the best looking game, period. I like the cutscenes. It still is ridiculous and fun as fuck. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of is the quick time events. I can see a lot of people getting pissed off at that. The other thing I think a lot of people were mad at, I saw a few videos, is there's a certain section in the demo that if you take too long, you die, but the game doesn't tell you. Bayonetta is still running off of Platinum's mindset of they're not going to explain everything to you. So if you play Wonderful 101, you already knew that coming in, but I'm going to let those who are new to Bayonetta know right now. Platinum Games is not known for telling you everything. Not I'm going to say a lot. I'll say, like, when it comes to fights specifically and how fights are placed, depending on what kind of fight it is and where it's happening at, some of those fights are invisibly timed. Some of those fights you cannot dick around in. Just know you will not know everything going in. In terms of playing the game, you'll know all the basics, and that's all you really need to know. Like, you can beat the game knowing the basics. Just know you're not getting the full experience of Bayonetta unless you play it with like the intent to really get into the, like, if you can get into the meta game of it, you'll really enjoy it. But I mean, the straight base level is fine too, because that's what everyone was playing as when they first played it for the first time on the 360 or the PS3. But it's a good time. But if you're new to Bayonetta, I suggest the touch controls. They're easy as fuck. and the game looks great. I think it's probably the best looking, realistic Wii U looking game. I know they say the frame rate jumps all over the place. I didn't notice it, but then again, from what I've seen Bayonetta 2, even in that digital flounder shit, it only, the lowest it ever got was like in the 30s, and that's not really bad considering 30 is kind of the, bullshit standard, and that's what we're more used to anyway. But overall, good demo. I like it's Bayonetta in its purest form. It's still Bayonetta. It's still fun. It's still ridiculous. Still crazy. Still technical as fuck, and people who love Bayonetta will love the fact that it's still technical as fuck. So please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. This has been the Insane Game Freak. Let's game, play to win, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.